Hello, welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So, earlier today, it has been announced that the next Rush Hour sequel is officially in the works, and it's going to be distributed by Paramount. So, let's take a look at what Deadline reports here. They say, we've confirmed with sources that Paramount is releasing the next Rush Hour sequel from Brett Ratner. The studio is distributing on behalf of Warner Brothers for a double-digit % distribution fee. Intriguing deal at an intriguing time. The David Ellison-owned Paramount is one of the bidders for WB. This is arguably the studio's first team-up since Ellison took control of the Melrose Avenue lot and follows a moment when all WBD bids were due last week. Netflix and Comcast are the other suitors. They say a number of studios passed on releasing the new Rush Hour, including Warner Brothers' own New Line that distributed the previous movies. Um, so they mentioned, yeah, the first movie came out in 98, second one in 2001, third one 2007. Apparently, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are reportedly back for part four, but has not been officially confirmed. Brett Ratner apparently was accused of sexual assault in 2017 by Melanie Kohler. He sued for defamation, and both sides settled in the fall of 2018, agreeing to move on. Ratner, a linchpin of the Warner Brothers financing entity Rat Pack, which funded a portion of several Slate titles, recently directed a documentary about First Lady Melania Trump for Amazon that'll hit theaters January 30th. It was reported in August 2024 that Rush Hour 4 with Ratner attached as director and producer was being shopped around. New Line allowed it to be licensed elsewhere, with Tarek Ben Ammar retaining rights to make the fourth quill under his Eagle Pictures label, one of Italy's biggest production and distribution companies. Ammar connected with Arthur Sarkisyan, the original producer of the Rush Hour movies. It's a big deal to bring these series back to theaters when many yearn to see the return of comedies. They say Sony has been successful with the Bad Boys movies. So before I look into the comment section here, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this honestly though, because those movies, I would say the first two for me were quite entertaining. The third one, I didn't really like it so much, and I think it didn't do well at the time it came out, given its budget at the time. And because of the circumstances here involving like Trump wanting this movie to happen, I don't know how to feel about this. To be honest, it feels kind of like icky, where it seemed like, oh, if Trump requests, in this case Paramount, under the Ellisons to do something, well, next instance, yep, it's happening. Maybe like that's not the entire case, probably behind closed doors, but from the outside looking in, it does look that way where whatever Trump requests from Paramount, Paramount is making it happen. So that feels kind of icky, honestly, though. And even like let's say outside of this, I'm just not that enthusiastic of a sequel, to be honest. So because I feel like as a franchise, it has run its course. To be honest, I know that they tried to do a TV series that lasted one season. I remember watching an episode, the first episode, and I thought this was terrible because they tried to rehash the first movie, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm just not thrilled about this, to be honest. So before I get into the comments section here, I do want to share that a sequel for this movie it seemed like was in the works for quite some time. So this is according to Wikipedia, so take this with a grain of salt. So apparently, according to the DVD commentary for Rush Hour 3, Brett Ratner joked that the fourth one could be released in 2012. Brett Ratner and Jeff Nathanson are exploring many concepts, including the use of motion capture technique for a possible sequel in various different film projects with Chan and Tucker. It's been reported that the fourth may be set in Moscow. And then July 2009, in an interview, Brett Ratner said he has been in contact with a long list of stars, including Dan DeVito and Jet Li, for possible roles in the fourth one, but stressed nothing's been okay yet. And then in an interview with Vulture in 2011, Brett Ratner stated that the cost of making a follow up to X Men The Last Stand would have cost more than X Men First Class, and that's why another Rush Hour 4 probably wouldn't get made either. It'd be too much to pay me, Chris, and Jackie to come back. And then in August 2011, in an interview with Breakfast Club, Chris Tucker stated in response to the question of a fourth by saying, Rush Hour 4, maybe because that's a different kind of movie. You got the action and the stuff like that, and they paid $20 million to. I'm just joking. No, Jackie Chan, I love working with them in those type of movies. You can redo them, and it's different. We'll see, but I don't know though, but we've got some new stuff coming, so we'll see what happens. And then July 2012, series producer Arthur Sarkisian stated that a fourth one was being worked on with Chan and Tucker, and say that he would welcome Brett Ratner back as director if they do it the right way. And in August 2014, Jackie Chan stated that the studio still wants to make the fourth movie, but he'll only participate if he can see a quality script first, stating, I don't want to do a rubbish script just because they want to make the movie. Both Chan and Tucker met for dinner to discuss Rush Hour 4 in June 2015. And then November 2016, while promoting Billy Lynn's long halftime walk, Chris Tucker reaffirmed his optimism for fourth movie, saying, "Yeah, we're talking about it now, doing another one, and we're trying to get it going. I think we might be able to get one going. I love working with Jackie, and I think we could do a really fun one." April 2017, it was reported that Shah Rukh Khan, his Indian actor, said yes to joining the cast. October 2017, Chan said that the script for Rush Hour 4 had been in the works, and shooting for the film would likely start in 2018 if Chris Tucker agrees. And he was optimistic about Tucker accepting due to his previous claims of being on board. And then February 2018, Chris Tucker confirmed the production of Rush Hour 4. He said on ESPN's podcast The Plug, it's happening. This is going to be the rush of all rushes, whatever that means. Jackie is ready, and we want to do this so that people don't ever forget it. In February 2019, Tucker said that the script is coming together, stating, we're working on a few things on the script right now, so we're trying to get into production. But we're working on it and trying to get it going. And then reiterated this in a podcast appearance in April that the fourth movie is still a possibility, but it's not in pre-production. We're working on the script, essentially. And then 2018, when the allegations with Brett Ratner came about, Warner Brothers sources presumed it's unlikely that Brett Ratner will be directing Rush Hour 4. And then March 2019, that hashtag show reported that a female-led Rush Hour reboot was in development by STX Films with Lee Bing Bing in the lead. And I guess since that announcement, we haven't heard much since. And then December 2022, fourth movie was confirmed to be in development by Jackie Chan. And then, of course, today, Paramount was announced they're going to work on this movie with Brett Ratner returning. So here we are. so in case if people are wondering, with the news of this movie being new, not quite, because it has been discussed for years, as I just stated here. So, yeah, so I want to go back to the article on Deadline. Let's see what the people are saying here. This is all part of government's plan to take full control of studios and turn them into 1940s-style propaganda machines. Make sure this film bombs at the box office, send a message. We will not bow down to a film industry controlled by our own government. I mean, it does seem like they seem that way, as I stated. That it seemed like, if Trump says, "Hey, Paramount, do this movie," and then Paramount announced, "Yeah, they're doing this movie." So, but again, at the same time, it's possible that maybe they were working on this movie behind the scenes before it became official publicly. You never know. But just from outside looking in, it does seem like that Paramount is doing this because Trump requested to do so. Everyone deserves second chance. Ratner's second chance will get him canceled again. And getting rid of cancel culture is bad. How? Never seen so many people eager to censor and discriminate. Um, and then this person says this will be great resurrection for Brett Ratner, but also to Chris Tucker. Ellison is such a joke. Let's see more here. Skip ad. Don't want this. Ellison is such a disappointment. Is it too early to list Trump as executive producer? Ratner was a cool kid turned creep. How old is Jackie Chan? 65. And Chris Tucker's officially, I'm too old for this age. Paramount is stooping lower under Ellison. There was also a TV show. Yep, I mentioned. So you kind of get the sentiment. So it seems like people are not quite thrilled by this. So if this announcement were to happen, let's say if Paramount was not pursuing the WB sale, if let's say the Ellisons weren't controlling Paramount, if all that stuff was not happening, and let's say this movie were to be announced, probably like it would have landed better. But since not, it seems like people are not thrilled by this. So I saw what Matt Bellany, this is what he posted here on Twitter. He said, "I teased this last night in What I'm Hearing, but now confirmed Paramount will release Rush Hour 4 after prodding from Trump on behalf of Brett Ratner. Distribution deal. Producer Tarek Ben Amar is lining up financing. Get ready for the dumbest possible state controlled media." I mean, it does seem that way. And there's a link to his article here, which I won't be able to click on because usually with articles on the Puck website is under paywall. Also, too, I saw here Scott Mendelson, who he's a journalist. He does report box office stuff. Mentions here that he says, "Having fun losing a shit ton of money. I honestly hope, knowing the circumstances behind this greenlit, that Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker both asked for $50 million each and 10% first dollar gross." And then looks like here's a capture of the box office here. So yeah, so the third one, as I said, it had a higher budget. So this case, $180 million, and it made what, just over 256 million, which is not great. But it seemed like the first two were profitable. In terms of critical reception too, it has dropped throughout the years. So Rush Hour 3 looks like here, according to Rotten Tomatoes, 17%, and Metacritic 44. So I would say, yeah, it's the lowest, with the third one in regards to critical reception, and also too with the box office as well. So which makes me question why do this movie. Let's just get rid of like the Trump of it all with that stuff. Just why make this movie? The third one didn't do well, so it doesn't make sense to do a fourth movie. And then we've seen like the attempts they tried to do as a franchise with the TV series. That did not work either. So I just don't get why make this movie. Now I'll be open minded to it. Maybe it could be fun, or it just could be dumb. I don't know, but I just don't get why make this movie from a financial perspective. And then critical reception too was quite poor with the third one. So there's that. And assuming if this actually does get made, it's going to be one interesting press tour, I would say. because not just with like the circumstances of how this came about, but also too like with um, the people involved here. They have their baggage because with Brett Ratner, of course, with his allegations and stuff, but also to Chris Tucker. I don't know if you remember this, but he was one of many comedians that performed at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which that gained a lot of controversy. And Jackie Chan, I know what with the Karate Kid movie that came out earlier this year, that didn't do well at the box office. And also too, he disowned the daughter that he had with another person or something like that. Because there's that whole thing, which that is quite bizarre with that. But it's going to be interesting press tour, assuming if this does happen. But yeah, just overall, I'm not excited by this sequel. Maybe if I see footage, I might change my mind. But otherwise, I'm just not thrilled by this, to be honest. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on all this? Are you excited for Rush Hour 4? Are you not? Let me know in the comments section. So if you want to support me, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/numpy Malloy, where you could donate and look at exclusive posts there. Also, too, if you subscribe to the channel, you can leave a comment in the community tab, as long as it's under community guidelines. And if you want to follow me on social media, my links are in the description. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you on the next one.